Last autumn I filmed a Volvo V40, but couldn't be bothered to edit it. Sorry about that, but at least now I don't have to repeat myself when talking about the Volvo V40 cross country. It's a V40 with additional protection panels here, with a slightly bigger ground clearance and, in case of just one engine, all-wheel drive system. Although the car is 40 millimeters taller than the standard V40, the ground clearance is only about a dozen millimeters or so greater than on the regular V40. A lot. A standard V40 starts at around 22,000 euros. A V40 cross country starts at around 27,000 euros, and this test model costs around 47,000 euros, and this is still a front-wheel drive version. We're talking about a car which is the size of a Volkswagen Golf, and its unique selling point seems to be a pedestrian airbag which is mounted somewhere down here under the windshield. A D4 diesel, that's 177 horsepower. However, if I were you, I'd save yourself £2,000 and go for the petrol T4, which is 180 horsepower, and it's more than sufficient for this car. And if I were going for the regular V40, not the cross country, T3, 150 horsepower petrol, more than enough. Not bad, but not 47,000 euros, not bad. In the bends you don't really feel the increased height of the V40 cross country. However, at higher speeds you can hear a lot of wind noise, and this wind noise is, I would say, too obtrusive for a car that calls itself premium. And at higher speeds the steering is, well, a bit too light for my liking. No more than in any other ordinary car. Besides, what idiot put 18-inch wheels on this thing? Volvo V40 cross country is hard enough on tarmac, not to mention these potholes. Volvo V40 scored 5 stars in Euro NCAP crash tests, just like many other cars. These remarks go for the standard V40 as well as for the cross-country variant. Volvo decided to go after the younger audience with this car, and in order to do so we have a backlit 3D gear knob. There is also this frameless mirror, rearview mirror, which is supposed to remind us of a smartphone, and like a smartphone it will always have finger smudges on it. In the V40, Volvo offers an optional digital display, and it can display information about the car in one of 3 modes: Eco, Elegant or Sport. I think Eco suits this car best. I don't expect Volvo to be sporty. The onboard computer is relatively easy to operate. You operate it with buttons and wheel on this stalk here. However, the onboard computer is a bit more complicated. If this is going to be your first Volvo, you will have to bear with it and learn how to use it. After a few days, I still get mixed up between the knob for the aircon and the knob for sat-nav scale. I find it a bit confusing. And these knobs are a bit too far. I have to stretch my arm to actually reach them. The driver is relatively comfortable, however the passengers do have to suffer. The passenger in the front doesn't have a place to stretch his or her legs because he or she will hit the wheel arch, and if the passenger wants to pull his legs towards him, the mounting of the seat, well, it's not very comfortable either. And passengers in the back, their feet, well, there isn't much space because the seats are mounted quite low. And then there is no place to put a big bottle of water in the door bins. The small bottle of water fits barely, so it's better to keep it here in the center cup holders. And Volvo, for some reason, they stick with this floating console, and come on, I mean, am I going to look for my smartphone down there somewhere? Am I? Really? I would rather have a place to put it here next to the gear lever rather than leave it back there. 335 liters? Really? So last decade. Ford Focus, Toyota Auris, Volkswagen Golf, Audi A3, BMW 1 Series, Mercedes A-Class, they all have bigger boots. No.